Hey, it's TheaDanielsR.A.W. with R.A.W.Vlogcast, and we are at the Railroad Square Music Festival 2023. Late for the train. Laura and Dave, they were up on stage. They did an amazing job.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And so, tell us about you guys. You got your arms around each other, and so you guys are more than just bandmates.
We are more than just bandmates. This is true. This is true. So it took a few years for our bassist to catch on. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, the bassist is off wandering around here somewhere.
Yeah, we couldn't wrangle him. Yeah, but we're bandmates. Dave plays guitar in our band, and I play fiddle, and then we co-write a lot of songs together. Then we also have a stand-up bassist with us always, and a mandolin player, or today we had pedal steel. So we kind of add and expand and contract sort of based on the vibe of the show we're going to play.
So then it's kind of you two is the hub, and then you expand out and bring in what's needed.
Yeah.
That's kind of, okay. How long have you two been playing together?
We've been a band now for about 5 years. It gets a little hard to think about it with the pandemic, but I think 5 years is a pretty accurate reply. Yeah. We're based in Occidental, so we're a Sonoma County band.
Yay!
And we play
West County.
a good amount in Sonoma, though we try to get out more than just kind of play locally. We just did a 17-day tour of a lot of California where we made it around to the backside of the Sierras. That was really fun.
Sweet.
And we got to get back out to Colorado, but a couple years ago we did a tour out to Colorado and Utah and Wyoming and Montana and kind of all of the above. But yeah, we're just having a blast and really grateful we get to do what we do.
So do you love being on tour?
I do. I think it's a very fulfilling part of, a lot of work goes into what we do and not all of it is playing. And being on tour is a combination of getting to perform and also getting to travel and meet folks and kind of, it feeds the stories that we tell as much as
I love that.
us at home trying to write songs. So
Yes.
Yeah.
What else feeds
What
the
he said.
stories? She was telling me she's got a little dog they got to leave for. Is there anything about the little dog or anything that you
Well, we haven't written a song about
Not
Mila
written a song.
yet.
We
That's
should.
our dog.
Clearly we don't love her.
Follow us on Instagram. You'll get dog content. Tom, our bass player, our third spoke, I guess, of the hub to spoke continuum, also has a dog, and she's come on tour with us quite a few times. Her name's Maybelline Louise. It's her full
Maybe for
name.
short.
Maybelline Louise.
Yes.
And maybe for sure.
Yes,
I like
and
that.
it's been very fun to have a dog on the road because you're out and you're kind of like cranking and having long days, and you've got a pet with you, and it's just like kind of decompresses everything.
Yes.
Who influenced you guys before you two came together? What got you started with music? Let's start with you, Laura.
Who influenced me musically? It's funny, the music that I grew up listening to isn't really the music that I play a ton. I listen to a lot of, first band that comes to mind is like Nirvana and kind of like rock, grunge music when I was younger, and then I got really got into Ani DeFranco when I was, I don't know, like 12, 14, as everyone does. As far as like guitar style and songwriting style, she's actually still pretty integral to like how I think of music and storytelling. And then I grew up playing a lot of Celtic fiddle, actually. So that's where my fiddle background comes from. I went to these music camps and then traveled all over and played in pubs and kind of got a lot of music experience and exposure that way.
So does music run in your family since you grew up playing the fiddle?
My parents are both very musical people, in that they enjoy being purveyors of music and listen to a lot and go to shows, but they neither of them really play. My dad used to play violin when he was younger, so when I started playing a full-size violin, I inherited his old violin from college.
Aww.
Yes. And actually it's been cool as we've started playing more, as I've started playing more. Both of my parents have kind of gotten back into music in a bigger way.
Rubbing off on them.
Yeah, that's been really cool. It's been a really cool thing to start sharing more of that. My mom sends me more videos of new bands than I can keep up with. She's a
retired research librarian,
Yes.
so
Thanks,
it
Mom.
fits.
Now, you mentioned a little something about storytelling.
Yeah.
So I definitely know music is all about stories, but you said that. So what is it that's special about the storytelling element for you?
Oh, great question. I feel like music and poetry, but especially music, has this, it's going to sound so cliche, but it has this capacity to connect us with the overall like human experience in a way that is so like unifying. And especially now, especially with the pandemic, right? Like we had so much isolation, and I feel like when you hear a song that resonates with you about an experience that you've had or something that you're going through that's difficult, you immediately can connect with like, okay, someone else has gone through this.
Yeah.
I am not alone.
Yeah.
That to me is really the key. And the times in my life that I have leaned on music more have been times that I maybe needed a bit of an outlet and needed to kind of have some feeling of community. And you know, maybe that meant I was playing music with other people and actually physically connecting in community, and maybe not. Maybe it meant I was by myself singing a song by R.A.W., you know, that just got me to cry and like process the feelings. And yeah, that's
Cliche or not, that's beautiful.
It's cliche for a reason, you know.
It's passionate. Yeah, it's passionate.
Yeah.
And you're all yeah. So what do you got to say about that?
You know, everything Laura just said, I'm fully on board with. I think it's a great way to unify us. I also think it can remind us to either be our better selves or remind us to not be our worst selves. Some of the music we play borrows a lot from folk traditions of the past, and there's this common theme around telling cautionary tales.
Mm-hmm.
Now, folk music has a pretty dark bent to it at times, and you kind of look into that and wonder a little bit, you know, why is everything such a downer? And they're reminders to not repeat kind of societal mistakes or individual mistakes.
Yeah.
Learn from your elders. Yes.
I think our music, you know, and a lot of the music that I listen to is maybe a little bit on the other side, where it hopefully inspires us to be better, inspires us to be, you know, accepting and kind and loving of ourselves and one another. So I think it's a way of codifying some of the values you hold, or maybe the morality you hold, not to get all preachy, but like it helps us kind of stay in what we know is good and true for ourselves, and how we can relate to one another and be loving and open for ourselves and our communities.
So well spoken, right?
I know. Man, it's like we planned this. You guys really are knowing what you're doing and doing what you know. That's awesome.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, quick fun story about you two, your band playing together, or being on the road with the dog.
I'm sure there's some in there
yeah,
somewhere.
there's some really good ones.
I'm really bad at coming
I don't know.
on the spot.
Should have given them a heads up to this, huh?
I don't know.
Oh man, we've got a bunch of them. I was trying to sort through stuff. We have one. We got to play a show. This is
Sheridan?
years ago. Yeah,
Nice.
in Telluride, Colorado. A beautiful, beautiful town. Which apparently, and I might be urban legending this, but the Native Americans didn't live there because they were afraid that if they lived there, they would go mad from the sheer beauty. So they would
Yeah, it
hunt
was
there
like
and they
too
would pass
sacred and
through.
beautiful of a place, so they spent time and they didn't settle.
Quick props, you know, to Telluride. But
It's really gorgeous, I believe it.
we got to play a show. We got to play at the Sheridan Opera House, which is, I think, the biggest venue in town. And we tried to play at least one show per tour that is philanthropic in some way or gives back some way. So Sheridan Opera House and their associated nonprofit, they were hosting a week-long outdoor education and a kind of experiential trip for a lot of high school kids from inner cities that didn't have as fortunate of upbringings as a lot of the folks who live in Telluride. And we played, it's called Wild West Fest. We got to play the last night of their week-long high school program, where they had been out on trips like writing songs and doing archery and horseback riding and going fishing and doing a bunch of outdoor experiential stuff. And we played a free show for both the town at large and also for all of the high school kids that had been at the end of their week-long program together. And it was all the things. It was like really heartfelt and sincere. It was also really silly and irreverent. There was a moment during a solo where, like, I forget if it was you or who was playing, but like the crowd went nuts and we kind of looked around at each other on stage and we look out and it's not anything to do with us. One of the kids was doing the worm for the other kids. But that was a really sweet show that was a venue that you know, in all fairness, we did not deserve to play as an out-of-state band going to play this opera house that a lot of my favorite bands have played on. And also was just a really, you know, we had 150 kids lined up afterwards to sign the poster for the show.
I forgot about that.
I hope to be someday.
So silly.
We're not a
so
poster
silly.
signing band.
We're not a poster signing
That was a taste of what's to be.
Sure. And I shouldn't even say I hope to be someday. It was just a special
so
moment that felt
goofy.
mutually supportive and really silly.
That's a great story.
Yeah.
That's like the life of being on the road. Okay,
Yes.
how can we follow you and find you guys?
Yeah, great question.
Yeah, so we're called Late for the Train, and we're often more than two. We have all of our shows up on our website. That's probably the easiest place, lateforthetrainband.com.
Okay.
There's a coffee shop in Flagstaff, Arizona called
This
Late
is
for the
true.
Train. We're the other Late for the Train.
Okay.
We're pals. We're the band, not the coffee shop.
Yes, all of our shows are there. We're on, all the places online.
We're on Instagram and Facebook, and you can stream our music on Spotify and Apple Music and all of the streaming places.
Yeah, we have a lot of shows coming up.
We do, yeah. We have a healthy
Okay.
summer coming up.
Wonderful.
Our next local show, if we can
Yes.
plug that, is we're playing July 16th at the Rio Neto Roadhouse. That is a Sunday in Rio Neto along the Russian River.
Yes.
And we're
You
playing
know
with a
this place?
wonderful
Yes.
duo from the foothills called Honey Run.
They
Pat
are
and
awesome.
Owen, they're a wonderful set of multi-instrumentalists. And we're doing a co-bill at the Rio Neto Roadhouse and going to make it into a big community party.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
Yeah.
All right. They're going to be local and they're traveling. Thank you guys
Thank you so much.
Do I get to
Thank
share you
you.
all over the place?
Of course,
Absolutely.
wherever you please.
Thank
It's
you.
a wrap. Bye.
Ciao.